Welcome back to Yankees Central, where we talk about Yankees and baseball. We're at a point where we are heading into the All-Star break. The team looked very sluggish, and that was an understatement. Seems like this is a yearly occurrence. They have very good April, May, usually June. They hit a roadblock, and then after that, well, you get to the point where you wonder what the hell's wrong with the team. That being said, they have woken up against the Washington Nationals, who they did pretty decent with just before the break. Let's go to scores, and we can do this. We can take it all the way back to last week. No, let's take it even further because we got to go prior to the break. All right, so Yankees beat them 4-2 that time, and that was Saturday. And Sunday, they beat them again. And then Monday was the start of the break. Friday, so I think they swept them, is what I remember. So you go into the break, which we know, and then come back on Friday, and we face the Dodgers. Now I knew anyway, the Dodgers are going to be a pain in the ass. They're a really stacked lineup, and they have a really good pitching staff. And a good pitching staff will stop good hitting. Our pitching staff, it did all right, but it's going through a rough patch. And this one got rained out, and then Sunday, of course, Yankees won finally. So they split that basically. So here we are, July 20, where we are now. Well, we're technically 21. Tonight's game's been postponed. It's going to be a doubleheader tomorrow. Well, the Yankees woke up against the Pirates. Now, everybody had pointed out that the Pirates, they're an above 500 club, and they're going to be competitive. Yeah, they're going to be competitive over there, but you're going against the Yankees, and even the Yankees, they're not the same team with Judge out of the lineup, but they're still better than some, lower tiered teams. But they did really well. Jazz Chisholm is finally waking up. I think he finally humbled himself and acknowledged what a piece of shit hitter he's been for the whole season. And he's waking up now. Well, it might be too late. The Yankees might be soured on him just because it took him so freaking long to wake up. So here we are, July 20. Of course, we got 21, which is now postponed. And tomorrow is going to be a doubleheader. I'm going to watch the first one at 1:05. And the second one, I will not be able to. I have to get up at 3:30, and it's just not possible for me to do. But I will tell you, I have not been all that impressed with Jazz Chisholm for the whole season, up until recently. And I think it's mostly because he just looks like he's lost half the time and he's not engaged in the game. It seems like the game to him is, he's got like a lollipop in his mouth. It's just like these antics were great over in Miami, but and the Yankees, not so much. But anyway, check out the stats for the Yankees. Austin Wells is finally starting to hit a little bit. It might be too late for him. He's got to hit 300 the rest of the way, even to hit 200, I think, at this point. And I don't think he's capable of hitting 300. I think his best batting average is probably 230. Even if he hits 230 the rest of the way, is he going to be a 200 hitter at the end of the season? And who knows if they're even going to play him that much because his hitting's been so shitty. Aaron Judge, I have a feeling he's just going to be out for the year. I have the same feeling about Giancarlo Stanton. And personally, I think the Yankees should just release him and let him go. We relied too much on these guys, and I think it's about time we build without them. We build without them. We have to build a team that does not count on these guys, because you count on the guys, guess what's going to happen? They're going to get hurt, and our team is going to totally fail without them. So build a team without them. If they're there, great. That makes our team even better, but basically count on them not being there. Judge has been hurt more than he's been healthy. It seems like every time you turn around, he's got another bugaboo. I thought he was over the injury bug, but he seems like he's back to that again. And he's actually getting into his mid 30s, which is scary. He's going to turn into another Stanton, because Stanton's only 2 years older than Judge. Judge is in better shape, much better ability than Stanton, but yeah, I think we need to fix a lot of things, and one of those things is we need to fix Aaron Judge to the point where he can play 160 games a year, or 150, or at least 145 games. And if that means DHing him more, then so be it. That means somebody's got to go, and it's Stanton. Stanton's his contract is just ridiculous. We should have never took that fucking contract. We should have never traded for him. Pardon my French, but I get so passionate about this crazy stuff, and I never liked it when we got it. I was excited at the time, but as soon as he started getting injured all the time, I just was like, yeah, we got to dump this guy. All right. Is he a Hall of Famer? I don't think so. He might get in just because of the way that the system is, but let's see how long we've got stuck with this son of a bitch. Yeah, we've got basically next year is the last year of it. If they got to eat 1 year, then so be it at this point. I think we'd be better off without him. Because if your whole reason that you keep saying that we're such a better team with Stanton, yeah, but that's when he plays. I mean, last year was the first time he actually, or the year before was the first time he actually played like 100 plus games. Well, I strike that. 114 was the most he played last year, and that the bigger high from that was 139, and then he had maybe 50 games if he was lucky between 19 and 20, and then 158 was his first big year with the Yankees. Last year, 77 games, and he looked really good in those 77 games. But is he worth paying that kind of money and getting 77 games out of him? No, he's not worth it. Yeah, if you have that production over 150 games, oh shit, yeah, he's worth it. But he's never freaking healthy enough for that. But anyway, I digress on the Stanton front. Anyway, we've got other things to think about, like Ben Rice, freaking having a great year. So there are some bright spots. Paul Goldschmidt, another bright spot. Of course, he hit a cold stretch because it happens. Uh, Caballero, um, I like the guy, but I don't know why they're bragging on him so much. Personally, I think he's a great shortstop, but I think he's more valuable all over the place than as a shortstop. Yeah, he's an awesome shortstop. He was leading the league in everything when he had the shortstop job early on. But I think we could get better at short. And I don't know. I've defended Volpe so much. I'm kind of like wondering what the hell's wrong with me. Volpe doesn't have the fundamentals to play the game. As much as he does some things right, he does so many things wrong that it's a head scratcher. But anyhow, Cam Schlittler is doing a really good job. I think the innings workload is catching up to him. I'm not a big one on that. I think that's a bunch of bogus bullshit, but they do tie into that so much now that you got to wonder if that's in the back of his mind and that's why he's starting to tire a little bit. But you can't complain with the recent dud outings he's had. I mean, he's got a 2.20 ERA. Uh, does anybody else on the team have him in close? No. The guy that you have that's close, that's Max Fried, and he's on the injured list. And Cole, he's still trying to find his spot. His pitches are kind of still a little bit all over the place. So when he throws something, it's kind of in the sweet spot for the hitter, and eventually he'll figure that out. I'm not concerned about him. Bednar had a very crappy start of the year, but he's really honed it in, and he's doing pretty freaking good, I think. But that's the state of the team right now. Let's look at what's coming down the pike. All right, so we got this doubleheader tomorrow with the Pirates, and then Yankees travel to Philly for I think it's a 3-game set. And of course, they don't have any kind of a preview as of yet because, it's. Um, but I would imagine if Cole's pitching, who would be the guy after Cole? Warren? Maybe? I don't know. But hopefully these guys come back. Um, I'd like to see. I'd like to see Freed come back. I know he's getting close. I think he's doing rehab starts now, and there's some guy that I forgot about, um, and he. Let's go to 2025. When I see his name, I'll know it. Oh, Schmitty. Yeah, he's on his way back, and I'm looking forward to him coming back because I think he will be a big boost to the Yankees. A big boost. He's taken leaps and bounds over his rookie year of 2023. He's improved quite a bit in that time. So we get him back, I think we're going to be good. But all right, let's go to the Yankees score. Okay, we got. Let me see schedule. There we go schedule. How about we do that? All right, here we are. Phillies. Then we got the White Sox. White Sox are actually pretty good to take out the rest of the month of July, and then we head over to the south side of the Cubbies. And ooh, what the heck? And I think Cubs is it for now, and then they're back home with the Cardinals and Braves and all of that. So, with that being said, I think we got some interesting matchups coming down the pike, and I'm looking forward to it. Oh, crap. There we go. Anyhow, let me know in the comments what you think. I'm thinking, we're looking at, the trade deadline's coming up. I'm thinking the Yankees will swap for a catcher. There's one guy I know in particular the Yankees have been talking about, or at least people have been rumbling about him. And that's the guy over in the Athletics. Langoliers, I think. Yeah, Shane Langoliers, power hitting catcher. I don't know defensively how good he is, but he's got a decent track record. Very powerful hitter. His defense looks good. 1.1 defensive WAR for the season, which is pretty decent. I just don't know. They don't give you the pitch framing and all that kind of crap. They never do. The other guy they're talking about, and I'm very intrigued by, is the guy from Colorado. Um, we seem to do a lot of deals with Colorado. Christ, we've got our left side of the infield's got a Colorado guy on it, ex-Colorado. Is Hunter Goodman, and he's a good man. 26 years old. 30 home runs. So he can pop him out of the freaking ballpark. And also, he's a little bit of a guy that can jump around a little bit. So if Wells gets his act together and he starts hitting well, you could have yourself a pretty decent lefty righty platoon type situation where this guy plays some first, some right, you can DH a little bit, and when you want to keep his bat in the lineup and he catches 4 or 5 innings, you can throw Wells behind the plate and move him over this guy over to first. I don't know how often he plays these positions, but it seems like it's a little bit of it's he's pretty consistent. 30, 40 games in the outfield or whatever. Couple games at first. He's not a lot at first, but a little bit. So I could see him doing a lot for us. I don't know what we'd give up for him. Probably a Spencer Jones or somebody like that, or a Dominguez. But I'm looking forward to the trade deadline. I hope we can straighten out. I think we need another reliever, but that might be coming in house, considering. And I'm considering what I'm saying by that is we get Clark Schmidt back, they're going to bump somebody from the rotation. And I think it's going to be Ryan Weathers. And the reason why is, well, he's got a 3-7 record, 4.4, and he's also a guy that hasn't pitched a lot of innings. And I think, that guy is probably the odd man out. It'll probably end up being Cam Schlittler. Jesus. That's a name you're going to butcher a lot. Just be aware. You're going to have Schlittler, Will Warren, Garrett Cole, Max Fried, and Carlos Rodon, hopefully, and then Schmidt. But if any injury comes in, well, obviously we'll have Schmidt to plug in if Rodon is out. But eventually, one of these guys is going to have to bump in. I think it's going to be Ryan Weathers. He has pitched out of the bullpen also before. Not a lot, but obviously he can do it. Because you look at his earlier part of his career, he's pretty shitty. So yeah, there's that. But anyway, that's my little thing for the trade deadline coming up. I'm kind of looking forward to that because it's kind of gives you hope for the next season. Hope for the remainder of the season. So with that being said, let me know in the comments if you have a difference of opinion on that. It's all good. I can take the criticism. I'm old and I don't care. It is what it is. Everybody's entitled to an opinion. Eventually, I'm going to change some of the formats. I might do a second video of the week where I talk about top players of my lifetime, the all-time team that I would have, in my lifetime. Not the entirety of baseball. So you wouldn't see somebody like Babe Ruth or Gehrig or any of those guys. You would see people like Thurman Munson. You'd see people like Greg Nettles. You'd see people like Don Mattingly, and of course Jeter, Willie Randolph. Players like that. So it's pretty good amount of players. You're talking 50, 55 years of players, so pretty good amount. With that being said, thanks for watching. I hope you liked it. Give a follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we will see you next time.
The Yankees win! The Yankees win! The Yankees win! The Yankees win!